When you think of legendary Resident Evil villains, you think of Albert Wesker. Changed allegiances here and there to fit his own needs for world domination and such. So you really don't know if he's going to flip on you or not. Umbrella was the reason for biological weapons, like the T-virus in the first place, which is the main problem of the saga. When it comes to the corporation he's in, STARS, this is like the equivalent of special forces for the military in this particular corporation. So he obviously has high levels of skills in general when it comes to firearms, marksmanship, just fighting ability. Even while just a human with no T-virus enhancements or just no enhancements in general, he was able to take down and easily disarm Chris Redfield, even with just raw skill, when they are actually on par with one another.
I died once, dark fingers of death, reaching out for me. The virus that Birkin had created brought me back from the brink of annihilation.
He was actually prepared to fake his own death at one point. Umbrella believed he was dead. It made it far more convenient to sell myself to an opposing corporation. I told you he'd be switching sides. This virus had profound effects that would put his body in a state of temporary death. It would then bring him back to life with superhuman powers. He can just easily pick up missiles like with ease with his newfound power. One can say way stronger than normal humans, just can stop tackles, just on a whole nother strength league like that. Strong enough to pull this metal gate off the wall just because of strength. Can lift up grown behind men with one arm. This is harder than you think because of strength. Dave had plenty of encounters with the good guys, and he can just like how raw he is. Fighting both of them at the same time, even though they're both armed, he just kind of can blitz them. In this occasion, countering Chris's strikes, kind of blocking and dodging his blows with ease. He's not strong enough to fight on par with Wesker. Fighting arts that I noticed that he uses Kung Fu, Taekwondo, and Tai Chi. He even does the stances on top of it to show that he does have fighting skills on top of his super strength and stuff of that such. He's even done flying neck snaps. Throws Chris hard enough to a containment chamber to break it, throwing power. He was being weakened by a drug. He still can punch into a missile even though he was weakened at the time because they used a drug on him. Even though he's weakened, he can still move like that. Dents a door inside a cargo plane with a strike. Even while we can look how high he can jump. In this example, like that, to jump. And he had his full power. You can just stab his hand through your body because he likes to do horror movie stuff. Because Wesker ended up wanting to be a guide, basically. All these times he had fighting Chris and stuff, he did kick him that hard. Even sends Jill across the room, even though she's a good fighter. Punching clean through humans is a normal hobby for Wesker when it comes to his strength. Like how he does it here. Using his hand like a blade. Can crater concrete with his punches. This T-virus monster, they don't want none of Wesker, he just kicks it. This being known as the Delta Hunter, with one attack, or one could say one kick, he can kill it. With a jumping strike, he can break concrete with his punching power. Chris, you gonna get sent flying. With a punch, get sent flying with a blitz. Ouch. Has no problems backhanding you like he did this time to Claire. Backhand that far. Stupid Red Queen. I can break a monitor. Fighting speed, that's probably one of the scariest things about him. He's already stronger than you, and he can also move like a blur. I respect anybody that can blitz you like that, like zoop, or just blitz you all around like that, like literally dancing around you while you're shooting at him. Like, how do you even block something like that? Shooting at him, he just blitzes you while the gun's pointed at you, so how do you even avoid that the gun is at you? Like runs to Chris real fast here. Before he can raise a knife, he can blitz him before he can even move his knife. Dodging shots from Chris while shooting himself while he got his own gun. Like he literally can't be shot while he's shooting someone else. Like that's insane. Fast enough to get caught off guard to catch an RPG round. In this occasion, just literally flipping around Chris's gunfire with agility, dodging speed while fighting and dodging at the same time. Avoids gunfire in mid-air somehow. Like you see that? How they're going in slow motion, how he's avoiding it. Chris and Jill try to shoot at him. It's just like you ain't hitting him with like he's just too freaking fast. It's scary to be able to use this type of travel speed during combat. That movement speed is crazy. He's one of those characters that's not afraid of straight up blitzing you. Like in this occasion, how he just straight up blitzed him in close quarters combat. He defeated them here with speed blitzing type combat. Literally toying with both of them, it seems. Speed. They trying their best with martial arts. He's too freaking strong. Getting hit by metal bars, they actually bend when he blocks it. He can take a lot of damage. Like this time they tried to make all these I-beams fall on him. Whole lot of weight. He got shot this one time and fell into a volcano while weakened. Guess what? He was still able to walk, even though he was damaged, obviously. Takes an RPG exploding in his hand more than once, and he's still able to keep fighting him, and it's not an instant win when they're working together against him. He's on some Wolverine stuff, like got stabbed in the chest by Tyrant, for example. Notice how he got stabbed in the chest with a hole. like this and got thrown. Regardless of all this, he's still able to recover. When he got burns, he had these massive scars on his face. The next time he met Chris, his scars were gone. He was able to regenerate, so that lets you know his healing factor ability. Even after getting shot in the back, he can take several hits from him afterwards. Even while weakened, these hits don't necessarily cut it. Weakened here, still able to react to this knife. Imagine being this powerful and have marksmanship on top of it. He's accurate enough to shoot this chain off this chandelier, for example. Like shooting this off this hook, allow him to use it to swing. Like shooting this monster one time. Wesker basically has two modes that we've seen him in so far. You've seen this the majority of the vid. You got base Wesker and then you got Ouroboros Wesker, where he's like a full-blown living bioweapon basically. Oh gosh. In this state, he's able to launch himself with his arms very far. It makes his range deadlier and he can kind of stretch him and halt a helicopter in this occasion from taking all his power. Pull it like that. Even slamming the helicopter into the lava in this occasion by stretching. Destroys dozens of solid, thick rocks with his striking power. Like, you see what I'm saying? Low-key starting to feel like some Alex Mercer stuff, like putting his tendrils through the solid rocks and make them come up like a wave or tornado. Like, bruh. Ouroboros Wesker tendrils are strong enough to wrap around metal, like swarm it, even rip it apart, then use them as bladed weapons. A good way to understand how strong this Wesker is, or Wesker in general is basing them off of other beings in the universe that he's stronger than. It's safe to assume that he's superior to this other creature, El Giganto. Look how small normal humans are compared to it. Wesker is superior to something that's at least 23 feet tall. Look how small or normal people are compared to him. Wesker is at the top of the food chain, and when you consider all the different type of beings that exist in Resident Evil, that kind of makes sense on him being stronger based on what the other weaker Resident Evil type of creatures or virus beings have done. Beings like this do exist, after all, and beings that are weaker than Wesker can lift up big things like that. There's been calcs of what the El Giganto can do, messing up big old boulders like this with his raw strength, and Wesker is superior to these same beings. This is at least calculated to be around the 4 tons of TNT punching power range, so Wesker should be leagues above this even in his base state. When he got the new form, that should even be better than this. I mean, this thing has to be a certain strength just from the sheer size of it, and he's above this. Characters in Leon in Resident Evil has pushed a 9-ton boulder, even though she did have health. Thank you, Death Battle, for the calculation. The weight was equal to 9 tons. Even if he did have, it was still 4.5 tons. So Wesker should be able to do way more. And we're not even going to get on this. And you got to remember that Wesker exists in the universe that have big behind creatures that he should be superior to as well, or at least comparable to. This being, for example, how she got mutated into this super giant being that looked like it weighed at least 25 plus tons, just from the sheer size by default. Creating more mass by sucking more people in. And look how big it actually got compared to normal sized humans. Like, yeah. Not to mention, if we assume that Wesker can lift anything this big thing can do, if we assume this thing just as strong as its size, it probably is, because you have to be able to hold your own weight up, right? Just from her sheer size alone in this super crazy state, Wesker should be superior to these beings, which will mean he can at least lift 25 tons, which adds up to the feats that he's done himself too. Nothing disproving that he can't do it. Everything we've seen him lift was pretty much easy, and it's not much of a struggle. Even the helicopter, for one could say. Not to mention this being, they was using satellite laser blasters on this giant thing, and she was able to withstand multiple attacks like this. Like, you see, it's literally laser strikes. So it all just adds up. But for the most part, that's just about going to do it. Respect Albert Wesker, someone you do not want to become face to face with, because he will literally speed blitz the little heck out of you. He's too strong, and he's holding back and toys with you just to make you think you got a chance, just to blitz you. Can use his hands as blades and just pierce you. You can go into ultra monster mode to where he has like tentacles, to where you're pretty much done for. Respect his strength. But I want to tell somebody, I'm grateful for those that have donated to the channel. Thank you guys, helps out a lot.